Golf is supposed to be the last sport where dignity survives, where players call penalties on themselves, fans whisper during backswings, and victory is handled with grace. But the Ryder Cup isn't golf's usual arena. Every 2 years, civility takes a back seat and golf becomes tribal. It's the United States versus Europe, flag against flag. Every shot feels like a punch, every celebration a provocation. And sometimes the line between passion and poor sportsmanship is obliterated. Few moments in Ryder Cup history capture that explosion of emotion more vividly than Rory McIlroy's eruption at Hazeltine in 2016. Europe had just gone down 4-0, and Rory, already a four-time major winner, was feeling the weight of it all. The American crowd wasn't just loud, they were venomous. They mocked his every step, threw insults across fairways, and tried to rattle him. So when Rory drained a clutch 20-foot eagle putt on the 16th green, he didn't hold back. He let out a guttural scream, turned to the crowd, and bowed. Twice. It wasn't just triumph, it was defiance. Later, Rory admitted the bow was premeditated. He wanted the moment. He needed to take control, not just of the hole, but of the energy in the stadium. Sportsmanship? Maybe not, but it was unforgettable. Just 2 years earlier, the same course had witnessed another firestarter, Patrick Reed. Then a 24-year-old brimming with bravado, Reed became a one-man villain factory. During his singles match against Henrik Stenson, Reed sunk a birdie and immediately shushed the Scottish crowd. Finger to lips like a man silencing a symphony, the crowd erupted. Reed just stared them down. It was brash, bold, and exactly the kind of moment that made him a Ryder Cup cult figure in America and public enemy number one in Europe. But sometimes the worst moments come not from celebration but betrayal. At the 2014 Ryder Cup in Gleneagles, Scotland, legendary commentator and former European captain Nick Faldo did something few could believe. During a live broadcast, he casually called Sergio Garcia useless in a past Ryder Cup. The jab wasn't just cold, it was personal. Garcia had matured into a reliable team player, but Faldo's words cut deep. In the middle of the tournament, with Garcia representing Europe, the comment didn't just spark outrage, it fractured the sense of unity the Ryder Cup tries to build. On the surface, it was just analysis, but for players, it was a dagger. Sometimes the tension between fans and players creates the most surreal moments. During the 2016 Ryder Cup, European player Andy Sullivan missed a putt, prompting a heckler from the crowd to shout that he could have made it. Henrik Stenson, cool as ever, called his bluff. He invited the fan onto the green. Justin Rose even sweetened the deal by placing $100 next to the ball. The fan stepped up and made the putt. The crowd lost it. It was hilarious. But beneath the laughter was a sense that even the players were tired. Tired of being ridiculed. Tired of the jeers. Tired of the line between fan and foe disappearing. Yet long before modern antics, gamesmanship had deep roots. In 1957, Tommy Thunderbolt Bolt earned infamy not for his swing, but for his slow play. During his match against Eric Brown, Bolt dragged out every shot, every walk, every decision. It wasn't strategy, it was sabotage. Brown, unimpressed, responded by pulling out a chair and sitting down mid-match. The standoff was bizarre, tense, and silent. Bolt lost the match 4-3. There was no handshake at the end. The crowd barely clapped. No one remembers the score, everyone remembers the standoff. The Ryder Cup has often teetered on the edge of chaos, but nowhere did it tumble off the cliff more dramatically than in 1999 at Brookline. Team USA was staging a massive comeback on Sunday. The crowd, sensing blood, turned feral. They taunted European players mercilessly. Colin Montgomery, one of Europe's best, was targeted with insults about his wife and family. It became so vicious that his father walked off the course in protest. Amid the ugliness, American icon Payne Stewart offered a rare act of grace, conceding Monty's final hole. But the damage was done. That day, the crowd didn't just cross the line, they stomped on it. Gamesmanship wasn't just a fan problem. Seve Ballesteros, the heart and soul of European Ryder Cup success, was a master of psychological warfare. In 1987, he and Jose Maria Olazabal were paired against Curtis Strange and Ken Green. After a missed putt, Seve subtly walked through Strange's through line, the path his ball might take if it rolled past the hole. It was a quiet mind game. Strange bristled. Seve just smiled. Moments later, Seve chipped in from off the green. It wasn't just a great shot, it was a mental uppercut. Fast forward to 2018, and tensions erupted again, this time between Anthony Kim and Sergio Garcia. During their match, Garcia asked for relief from a set of steps near the green. Kim jumped in, questioning whether it was really affecting the shot or just gamesmanship. Garcia was furious. The moment lingered long after the ruling was made. It wasn't just a dispute over steps, It was a clash of egos. And then came one of the biggest post-tournament bombshells in Ryder Cup history, the 2018 fallout between Patrick Reed and Team USA. After Europe's dominant win in Paris, Reed went public with his anger. He called out captain Jim Furyk, accused the team of poor pairings, and made it clear he felt disrespected. But it didn't stop there. Reed aired everything: the locker room decisions, his personal disappointments, and his frustrations with Jordan Spieth. The unspoken Ryder Cup code that team matters more than ego was shattered. 4 years earlier, in 2014, something similar had happened, but this time the explosion came from a legend. After Team USA lost at Gleneagles, Phil Mickelson sat down at the post-match press conference and torched Tom Watson, the team's captain. With Watson sitting just feet away, Phil detailed how the team had no input, no strategy, no connection. It wasn't subtle, it was a demolition, and it changed Ryder Cup policy forever. The fallout led to the creation of a new task force to reshape American Ryder Cup structure and prove that even legends can burn bridges when pride and patriotism collide. By 2025, Ryder Cup madness had reached its boiling point. At Bethpage Black, one of the most unforgiving courses in America, the crowd wasn't just loud, they were brutal. The European team, especially Rory McIlroy, was targeted with relentless abuse. But this time, it escalated to something shocking. Rory's wife was allegedly hit with a beer. The chants weren't just rude, they were obscene, vulgar, and repeated by thousands. The tipping point came when event MC Heather McMahon was caught on video encouraging the mob-like chants. She resigned. The PGA of America apologized, but the damage to the Cup's image was undeniable. It was no longer just passion, it was chaos. The Ryder Cup had evolved from a gentleman's duel to a tribal war. And while emotion is part of what makes the event so compelling, the line between competitive spirit and raw disrespect has never been thinner. From shushing crowds to public takedowns, from fan violence to locker room betrayals, these moments serve as reminders golf's classiest tournament is also its most volatile. And maybe that's the paradox that keeps fans watching. Because when golf forgets to be polite, it becomes unforgettable.